This morning, wildfires continue to burn through thousands of acres in Tennessee, sending smoke billowing across the South. Fox 17 has team coverage with crews spread out all across the mid-state. How the state of emergency will impact you today.
Plus, a housing boom is boosting Nashville's economy, but not everybody benefits from all the new development. Fox 17 takes you inside the issue of Nashville's real estate.
You're watching Fox 17 This Morning with A.J. Hilton, Jennifer Waddell, Skywatch 17 meteorologist Craig Edwards, and Steer Clear Traffic with Samantha Russell. This is Fox 17 This Morning.
It is 8 o'clock, and the big story right now, the state of Tennessee in a state of emergency because of the severe droughts and the extreme risk of wildfires.
I want to say thank you for joining us for Fox 17 This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm A.J. Hilton. We have 67 wildfires burning across nearly 16,000 acres, the worst of it in East Tennessee.
Yeah, if you have plans that take you out that way, you need to be aware of this. Take a look at some of the new video just into our newsroom. This is from Hamilton County. Crews from across the country are flying into Hamilton County, which is, by the way, where Chattanooga is located, to try to help contain these wildfires. But folks, the terrain is difficult to navigate and the water resources are running low.
Because of the terrain around here, we can't just dive off a lot of these cliffs and so forth and to stop the fire. So we're going to have to find different routes.
So far, the fires in Hamilton County burning about 1,600 acres.
So to give you some perspective and context, take a look at this map right here. This area right here, the entire state of Tennessee in a level 3 state of emergency. By the way, there are only 4 levels, and you can see in this map right here, Tennessee is shaded yellow, also shaded orange. Many of these areas have gone weeks without rain. And because of the drought, the Tennessee Department of Agriculture is telling people not to burn or start bonfires, burn leaves, or do anything that could spark a brush fire. 51 counties are under a burn ban in Tennessee, and we mapped out the counties right here. You can see that are impacted by this. This ban will remain in effect through December 15th, and many more counties in Kentucky also under a burn ban. This is a story Fox 17 has been following for weeks now. You can see the different footage that we have, and right now there are more than 60 active wildfires burning across the state of Tennessee.
So continuing our team coverage this morning, some of the toughest conditions right now are in Rutherford County. We have mapped out the location for you in one of our video boxes here, but we also have Fox 17 Samantha Singer standing by live to tell us exactly what's happening in Rutherford County this morning.
That's right. Well, people are being fined here in Rutherford County, $2,500 if you violate that burn ban. What we want to show you, this is the brush truck, okay? This responds to brush fires in Rutherford County. This has been very busy in the last 30 minutes. We followed it to an illegal burn situation. Now, if this brush truck gets to a fire and the brush is too thick, like over here, firefighters actually have to get out, and they're going to demonstrate to you what they have to do. So it's a very challenging experience here to actually put out these fires. Chief Farley with the Rutherford County Fire Department, show us, you said that this is all fuel technically because it's so dry.
Basically, when the fire spreads in a field and it gets in the wood line, you have all this dead vegetation.
Right.
And basically what this is fire, fuel for the fire. In order to have a fire, you got to have fuel, heat, and oxygen. Well, this right here provides the fuel, and this stuff is so dry.
Everywhere.
There's no moisture whatsoever in the ground, in the leaves, and in the grass or anything. So this stuff is just like gasoline when it hits it. And when you have a recreation fire, a bonfire, or any type fire, you notice when the fire is burning how the embers go up in the air. Well, those embers are going to come down. And if they come down in the wood line and get off in the wooded area, then we've got our work cut out for us.
Right, and that's where these guys come in.
They take these flappers and they can demonstrate kind of flapping the fire out, because a lot of it's manual labor. They can try to use that to beat the fire out when we're trying to use water also. We have these Indian packs that Matt's got right here, and we put water in it. They actually go off into the wood line, off in the deep of the woods, and they spray this water like this right here. This is one that puts the large flames out, and we have trees, dead trees get on fire, and so we can take that and actually soak that down and kind of wet some of the vegetation down with it.
So as you mentioned, manual labor, they have to get out and, refill these packs that are kind of small, and when that fire is burning so quickly, it's dangerous. That's why this is so serious.
And like I say, a 25-acre field, as dry as it is right now, can go up in 2 or 3 minutes. And when you're out here in the rural area, we've had many structures that's been endangered. You've had barns, homes, just a lot of people just don't realize how volatile it is.
Thank you so much, Chief Farley. We're going to be here with them talking more about their response to these brush fires and how serious it is to not be burning in your community. We're reporting live here in Rutherford County. Samantha Singer, Fox 17 News.
You know, just in case you're watching this and thinking, man, I didn't realize that it was that serious. Chief Farley there showing you just how serious it is and some of the tools that they use. You may not ever get a look at those and how they fight these fires.
We were just talking about this, Craig and I. We had never seen that tool where they actually are out there, actually literally brushing the fire to put it out.
You thought it was like a shovel, but that's not what it is at all. It actually is just trying to extinguish the flames by, taking all the air away from it.
It's a flapping action. You know, if you were to put trying to put a blanket over a fire, it does that just in a smaller manner.
How about that?
Yeah.
Tell you what, we could really use some help fighting these wildfires in the form of rain.
I mean, no rain showing up. Really, we've got a couple of showers this morning, but this is not anything that's really going to help out. Really dry out there. These are the numbers. It's 25 days since we've had a good rain here in the Nashville area. Last time it occurred was on October 20th. We picked up about 1/3 of an inch of rain, just a little more than 1/3 of an inch. 58 days since a real soaking rain has moved through. I'll have more about that as we take a look at the 7-day forecast with you in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you, Craig. Right now on your Fox 17 steer clear traffic, several accidents still going on that we've been following a lot this morning, and you can see on our steer clear traffic map a lot of major roads are impacted. 440 just east of the 40 junction. We've got police and TDOT on this accident.
8:08 and Fox 17 is following breaking news. The Leaf Chronicle reporting 2 people are now dead after an explosion at a mobile home early this morning. This happened in Houston County, and we do have a crew on the way right now to the scene. We will keep you updated as soon as we learn more information.
All right, AJ, thank you very much. The time is 8:08, and right now Fox 17 continues to follow the developing news of these dozens of active wildfires in our state right now. And we have an expert joining us live in studio this morning to tell us a little bit more about this and get us up to date. This is Shane Petty, the Chief Ranger for Tennessee State Parks. Good morning.
Good morning.
I know you guys are so busy right now, so thanks for taking some time to come in to talk to us.
Sure.
We were talking during the break here about what your crews are doing right now. So can you get us up to date on exactly what's happening this morning?
Sure. Well, we're in the process of demobilizing just a little bit, trying to rest our folks from a very busy, we've been on the firing line for about 10 straight days.
Wow.
So we've had several fires across the Cumberland District in East Tennessee, predominantly for Tennessee State Parks. We've been on the Cumberland Trail in the Hamilton County area fighting the Flipper Bend fire, which was about a 1,000-acre fire.
Now, also want to ask you about the Smoky Mountains, the Great Smoky Mountains. We've got a lot of parks there. Is there any threat to those areas this morning over, toward Gatlinburg?
I was there this weekend, and I talked to the Tennessee District Ranger in the Smokies, and they were good over the weekend. They're just really bombarded with so many people that like to go there this time of year.
Yeah.
However, they had 2 fires that popped up this week, so they weren't enormous at this point, but their crews are in trying to contain those at this moment.
You were talking a little bit about trying to rest your folks because they've been on these front lines. And for anybody who's not familiar with fighting these wildfires, it is incredibly grueling, so intense. When we lived in Arizona, for example, we covered wildfires to the nth degree. And I know that hard work that goes into this. You bring in crews from out of state, from all over in the state. What kind of resources do you have right now on the front lines?
Well, they do have a large number of firefighters, as you said, that came in from Florida and Nevada.
Yeah.
And those guys have been great help. They've been very humble because they're used to fighting on flat lands. When you get into the Hamilton County area and so many gorge areas, it's just straight down in ravines on rocks. And you wouldn't think of you've got to fight fires on rocks, but there's so much fuel. Now the leaves have hit the ground down in those areas. So we're fighting fires in some of the toughest area. And I shouldn't say really fight fires. What we do is we try to contain them. You go in with, as you talked earlier, with some of your rakes, Mattocks, Pulaskis, and you try to cut a swath, 5, 8, 10 foot dirt path to try to slow down, contain, stop the fire. And so many folks think, well, you'll see that we have a certain fire that's 90% contained. It's not out. It'll burn for weeks, if not months.
But you've got a ring around it at that
Absolutely,
point. Yeah.
absolutely. We've been very fortunate. What has really saved us is certainly the weather's working against us.
Yeah.
We haven't had a lot of wind.
Okay.
That helps. When
Yeah.
the wind comes up, as it did last Thursday, it really killed our fire lines.
Well, Shane, I want to say thank you for coming in and talking about some of the work that you guys are doing. We're going to stay in touch with you and get these updates as we go on and that fight continues. So thanks again for coming in studio this morning.
pretty soon, new residents are going to move into these homes. We're going to explain why Councilman wants some residents out of this neighborhood.
Plus, the man-made problem that is causing problems for crews trying to put out wildfires in East Tennessee, what they're asking the public not to do.
And we have some good news for you this morning. Fox 17, the 17 Days of Soul is back. Every day we give you a chance to win $100 and a brand new Kia Soul. So stick around because we have a keyword coming up right after this break.
8:15, and we want to turn now to a story Fox 17 has been following for several years, talking about the real estate boom in Nashville. You know, hundreds of people move here every month, driving up demand and prices. And with the cost of living on the rise, Nashville facing a serious shortage of affordable housing. So here are some of the ways people in Nashville can access affordable housing. There's the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, of course, the Barnes Fund. That's just to name a few. Now, the term affordable housing specifically includes homes that are priced for lower income families and Nashville's working class. These homes in Nashville are funded by federal and state taxes along with charitable donations.
Now, for weeks, Fox 17 has been following the latest on the Barnes Fund application process and a controversial bill impacting landlords of some of these housing developments.
And each year, the fund takes applications from developers to build affordable housing. And this year, they received 21 applications. By the way, that's the most ever for the program. Mayor Megan Barry released a statement that reads, in part, "The Barnes Fund is a critical component of our overall strategy to preserve and expand the supply of affordable housing for working Nashville families. With the sale of the Nashville Convention Center, we have added an additional $5 million to the Barnes Fund, on top of the $10 million we allocated for the fiscal year 16-17 budget, which will be used to further that mission." Mayor Barry thanks the nonprofits who stepped up to help the community get more affordable housing. And going forward, the affordable housing team's going to work with these nonprofits to make the most of their investments.
And new this morning, we have an update on that controversial bill that changes the way affordable housing landlords can deal with some unruly tenants.
It's a new code of conduct that will be applied to all current and future affordable housing developments in Nashville. And this proposal, it's been sparking some controversy.
Fox 17's Harriet Wallace joins us live this morning with the update.
Hey, good morning, you guys. Want to give you all an idea of exactly what's going on. We're sandwiched between 14th and 15th Avenues in North Nashville. Take a look right here at all of this development taking place. This is just some of what's going on in this area. And we're also being told that there are more than 60 developments waiting now to go through the housing approval process. Now, Councilman DeCosta Hastings, who represents this District 1, said constituents flooded him with complaints about people living in some of the Barnes Fund homes in this area and getting involved in illegal activities along with their tenants. So he put that proposal before the council to force landlords to boot those unruly tenants out. Now, some council members and opponents criticized that bill, saying it unfairly targeted lower income families and stigmatized the Barnes Fund program. Now, even Mayor Barry, one of the founders of the Barnes Fund program, pushed back on that bill. So Hastings pulled back. He met with lawyers, met with Mayor Barry, and changed that bill to make sure the language in it applied to all new affordable housing programs, not just the Barnes Fund. So that program has already passed successfully through 2 readings. It just has one more. So what Councilman Hastings said he did, he put the brakes on it. He's giving the board that governs the Barnes Fund time to make its own changes, to adapt its own code of conduct to take care of unruly tenants. And if not, he says he's going to put it back on the ballot in March. So, of course, we're going to keep an eye on that for you all because we're tracking your tax dollars. You pay for this program, and we're going to watch your dollar for you. We're live here in North Nashville. Harriet Wallace, Fox 17 News.
Fox 17 continuing to follow the growing real estate boom here in Nashville, and with new homes and condos, they're going up every day. And Michael Kenner, the CEO of Mike and Development, joins us this morning to talk about how developers are playing a role in this growing city. So let's talk about it. What is the role that developers play as Nashville continues to grow?
Well, if you're a developer that cares about the city that you live in, then you should care about the stability of your city. And if you socioeconomically gentrify your city and push all the people that don't have money outside of your city, then what you do is called suburbanization of poverty. And it compounds the problem, because then the cost of living goes up, and getting the people that make our city run into our city costs more for the city in general.
Now, we've seen some of that. You could look at the Gulch as an example, or you could look at Salem Town. That was a development that you housed. Explain what happened with Salem Town.
So Salem Town was kind of the perfect storm. It was a lot of lower end rentals, and so when developers that came in that do something called infill, and they buy one lot and build two there, essentially what they do is they tear down all the affordable rentals and then they build back two higher end homes. We did a project in Salem Town called Salem Town Cottages, where we took a piece of vacant land, but the community had also expressed concerns about gentrification. And so what we did was we deed restricted one of those units as affordable housing for a period of 40 years. It's workforce housing, so it's 120% of area median income.
Right.
And most people might say that's not really affordable. But if you look at the urban core, even people that make 120K or 120% of area median income can't afford to live there anymore.
Real quick, let me ask you this, because we've got about 15, 20 seconds left now. What is the solution from the developer standpoint moving forward to address this issue, to fix this issue?
Pairing nonprofits with for-profit developers, making sure that the Barnes Fund has reoccurring funding sources, and making sure that the city is pushing to bring affordable housing into the urban core is one of the serious issues that we need to look at. We can't continue to fund affordable housing outside of Nashville.
Michael Kenner, we appreciate you joining us and giving us a little perspective. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, now coming up on 8:21, let me show you what it looks like on radar out there for this morning. Looks pretty quiet around the Nashville area, but we do have some rain that's showing up in areas just off to the north, and our radar's picking up on that. As we zoom on in here, I want to show you.
You're watching Fox 17 News this morning.
The state of Tennessee is in a state of emergency because of severe droughts and the extreme risk of wildfires. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 17 this morning. I'm AJ Hilton.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We have team coverage this morning on this state of emergency and what it means for your family.
Fox 17 Samantha Singer is live on the scene in Rutherford County, and meteorologist Craig Edwards is tracking our next chance for rain, which could bring some relief from this drought.
Let's get straight out to Samantha Singer. She's live in Rutherford County to give us the newest information there. Good morning, Samantha.
Well, right now, firefighters doing challenging and difficult work. We are demonstrating right here how they have to use their manpower getting out of the truck, using these hoses that are very small to actually work and put brush fires out in the thick brush. So not only is that exhausting and very time consuming when there is a brush fire spreading very quickly, we have Rutherford County Fire Chief Larry Farley here to explain that this weekend it was an unbelievable amount of calls just to, to go to illegal burns, to tell people to stop doing bonfires.
Well, Saturday and Sunday, over the course of the weekend, we ran 48 calls responding to people's homes just to put out recreational fires, chimeneas, fire pits, because we're so scared of these embers getting airborne and setting the grass on fire, getting in the woods.
How easy is it for those embers to just, fly away and get into the brush?
Well, everybody's noticed at a bonfire or brush fire, whenever you're burning, how the embers go up in the air. And so with you have a pretty good wind, it can carry those hot embers, several hundred feet. And if it lands off in a wooded area, then there's a lot of dead fuel in these wooded areas that is going to burn. And so therefore, we've got our day cut out for us.
That's right. And we want to show you the brush truck. So this almost, you would say, kind of a waste of resources that you have to go tell people to stop burning when they know that there is a burn ban in place, because this thing has just been exhausted. All these these brush trucks.
Well, we run a vehicle call, vehicle rectification, wrecks, fire suppression for homes, medical calls. And when we're out here just asking people not to burn when there's a ban burn, then it's wasting our resources. We could be answering other calls.
Well, thank you for the insight and the work that you guys do. I know that it has been very difficult. You've had a lot of fires in the county. So just a reminder that there are penalties. I mean, you said it's $2,500 fine if people are violating those burn bans.
You can be cited to court and up to $2,500, and actually up to $25,000 with state forestry if it's of great magnitude.
All right. Well, thank you, Chief Farley. We are reporting live here in Rutherford County. Samantha Singer, Fox 17 News.
All right, Samantha, thank you very much. As these fires continue to burn right now, we got a lot of the South in desperate need of rain.
Yeah, we do. Let's get it over to meteorologist Craig Edwards, tracking our chance to get some showers.
Yeah, for today, it's really not going to be that great a chance. We saw a few showers earlier this morning. I've got one still showing up on the radar in the area, but even that one not very big. Take a look at this.